Webcasting from North Central Wisconsin, I'm Jonathan Switzer, and this week I've decided to gab a bit about Robotech 2011, the new animation project, which is supposed to be sort of the next big Robotech project. But not too big, not too big. You see, this is the tricky conundrum Harmony Gold's in right now. You know, they've got the live-action movie coming up, and they don't want any sort of confusion out in the marketplace, or they don't want to step on the toes of Warner and the live-action movie. So Shadow Rising's been in a holding pattern for years now. But they do want to get some new product out there, of course. You know, they can't ride on the coattails of the Shadow Chronicles forever. They can't ride on the coattails of putting old product out in new revenue streams forever. You know, you've got Robotech out there on YouTube. You've got Robotech out there on Hulu. You've got the Robotech novels now available on the Kindle and through the iBooks store and elsewhere. So you need to get something new out in the marketplace, and that's what Robotech 2011 ultimately, I guess, is going to be. I assume it was originally devised as a 25th anniversary project. I understand that Carl Macek was working on it before he passed away. He was sort of, you know, putting this thing into shape. Now, what exact shape is going to manifest in? It's a side story. It's a side story, by all accounts, about the Invid Princess Syrah. You know, the green-haired one, the one who wasn't in the Shadow Chronicles, the one who wound up with Lancer at the end of the New Generation. I find that interesting. A lot of people don't seem to. The thing about this kind of a story is, in years gone by, this would have been a comic book. This would have been maybe a side story novella, not even a novel, because, I mean, go back, you know, the Robotech novels took, like, how many complete stories and, you know, crammed them in between, you know, two covers on 200 pages. This would have been, you know, maybe a 64-page one-shot comic or something like that. This is not what we would have gotten in the past as animation, and so it's kind of neat that we're getting it as animation. But, you know, in years gone by, I mean, what? The only real side story we ever got in animation was Robotech Untold Story, and really, no. Just no. But, yeah. So it's a story about Syrah. The animation that has been shown for it, and they're making brand new animation for this. They are doing new animation for this. Some of this was shown at, I want to say, the event was called Animation on Display, AOD. It was back in February, and it's like, oh, here's the Macross Mounds, you know, the ones from Southern Cross actually, and then, you know, here's some garfishes, and here's some fighter planes, and here's some column of lights, and you know, all iconography we're well familiar with by now. So I guess it must start off between the Robotech Masters and the New Generation. What sort of shape this story is going to take? Extremely unclear. I mean, when it was announced that it was going to be Syrah, I assumed it might be an actual side story to the Shadow Chronicles, dealing with the aftermath of the Third Robotech War, dealing with perhaps what Syrah saw from the Regis, rather than what Ariel saw from the Regis, dealing with her and Lancer, dealing with why they don't take part. I was hoping for something like that, because looking back at the New Generation, it appears to me that Syrah's story is told, you know, from her emergence as a humanoid life form, all the way through her romance with Lancer and through to her betrayal of the Regis. I think that's all been told. So there's a fear in the back of my head right now that this is going to be like the home video equivalent of Love and War, except with Lancer and Sierra. Ooh, that could be rough, and that could be rough. The thing that further makes me worry about something like that is the fact that speculation has been for some time now that this is going to include, to a very large extent, the unique animation created for Mouse Speed Love Live Live. Now, if you don't know what Mouse Speed Love Live Live is, Mouse Speed Love Live Live was produced in 1985 as sort of an OAV, original animated video treat for fans of Mouse Speed. It had sort of a framing device of new animation produced by Tatsunoko, really high quality stuff, surrounding basically anime music videos of the songs of Mospeada with footage from the TV series. Okay? So, the question then becomes, how much of a coherent narrative can be constructed from some new fight animation over here and some footage that was originally created as a framing device for music videos back in 1985 over here? The other thing that's slightly worrying about this idea that they're taking this old 1985 footage and this modern footage and melding it together is I've seen people trying to take old animation, new animation, crammed together. I saw Sunrise tried to do that with the Zeta Gundam movies a few years ago. And so they took footage from the Zeta Gundam TV series, blew it up, cropped the top off and the bottom off, and then they interspersed it with brand new theatrical quality animation, and they couldn't quite match the colors, and they didn't quite match the style. And it was really jarring. You'd go from shot A that looks all modern and shiny to shot B that looks like it was made in the 1980s. So I'm worried about the consistency of the animation. I'm worried about the story they're telling. The only thing that really has me interested and encouraged is the subject of the story. No. Sarah's not a particularly well sketched out character in the TV series. It should be interesting to see something where they try to flesh her out. And if it does give us some hints as to the direction of the storyline ahead, and if it does sort of build on the Invid mythos and build on the fears of the Invid and their relationship with the Robotech Masters and their relationship with the Hate Knights, if it builds on all that stuff, at least offering some teasers, some tantalizing new information, I'm all for it. I'll take it. So, if you have any other information on this, if you see any links out there that will point in the direction of speculation, informed speculation, any ideas as to what this might really come to be, please leave them in the comments. I'm interested in any tidbits of information I can get on this, just to get a clear picture of what is coming. But yeah, with all that said, this is Captain JLS signing off.